What is up, guys? Zach Ginn here.
Rick in here.
And welcome to our fourth emergency meeting broadcast about wholesaling real estate. Specifically today, we need to talk about 2024, the crazy chaos that is ensuing, and exactly what you need to start doing today to become successful. The reason why we're making this emergency meeting broadcast, we don't do many of these, but usually it's when you and I come together on a day we usually don't have live streams or we're not supposed to, but when something in the industry happens and we have to talk about it, this is a day. And there's some crazy things happening. I truly believe we are seeing a mass disparity right now between, we're seeing more successful wholesalers than ever. This industry is just getting bigger, but also we're seeing a lot of successful wholesalers start spluttering out and just leaving, right? And we're seeing this big trend happening where it's the haves and the have-nots. And it's because there's some changes happening, and you know that the ones that are always doing well and they always fizzle out, it's because they don't adapt to the change. And we need to talk about the changes happening right now, and these are good things. The reason why we're making this video is not to scare you or give you fear. I truly believe, most wholesaling gurus, they spread fear to you, right? They say, oh, this change is happening. It's terrible. Buy my course. Do this new method. And it's always fear to sell. It's fear to sell. Fear to sell. And the reason why I look at change, it's an opportunity to make more money. And so we are helping more wholesalers than ever. Like the amount of people sending us first deals, the amount of people actually getting their first deal or making at least 100K, it has grown year after year because this business is just getting bigger. Us wholesalers are creating more deals than ever with drying for dollars, reverse drying for dollars, digital bandit signs. We're kind of taking money away from realtors at this point, and so it's nice. But the problem is I'm seeing some big changes, right? And we'll talk about this in today's emergency meeting. We have a lot of wholesaling gurus leaving this industry. They're not pivoting well. And we're going to give some good examples on this too, but we have to talk about how some big changes are happening. You must prepare, and this is a good thing. This is not a scary thing. I'm not here to scare you, freak you out, say the world's ending. That's not today. Today is all about an opportunity and how you can do it. And the opportunity is not for you to give us money. There's no pitch at the end of this opportunity. This is an opportunity for you to become successful. So let's kind of talk about it. Some changes are happening, right?
Yeah, I mean, so we're in 2024. I've been in this business 20 plus years. There has been drastic changes from back in 2003 from where I've started now. But honestly, the most drastic changes I've really seen are kind of like, well, if we go out macro, the last 7 years, that's when wholesaling changed. And if you line it up perfectly, that's when a lot of what I call the would-be gurus came in, and it was all about selling courses. And honestly, in wholesaling, if you were in it, say from 2017 to through 2021, say that area, maybe 2016, what happened is wholesaling turned into like this just mosh pit of speculation and legal maneuvers. And honestly, they created this hybrid wholesaling model. And honestly, you had the advent of data. Like data just became not free, but came very fluent. And when that data hit, everybody pushed. And then, so here we are in 2024. You started to see the changes in 2022, definitely in 2023. And all those methods you guys were taught, like 2016 to 2020, they're gone. In fact, my favorite part about wholesaling is if I've watched it the 20 plus years, I always tell you guys, there are sprinters and there are marathon runners. Sprinters try to run fast as they can and look as good as they can on any type of camera, any type of stage. And honestly, they never make it. I'm not here, I'm not calling anybody out, but just go back through your YouTube history, go back to all these seminars you went. And why are all these people that were so incredible then not in the business now? The truth of the matter is they were never wholesalers. They did this hybrid blend. And when you don't understand the fundamentals of wholesaling doesn't work for you. It doesn't mean you don't work in wholesaling. It just means you were taught the wrong way. And the fact is, since I've been doing this 20 plus years, the basics of wholesaling, the fundamentals are still the same. Have the techniques changed? Absolutely. Absolutely. But guys, I'm here to tell you, if you truly want to learn wholesaling, just go with someone that actually does it in their business. That's what me and Zach do. That's what we want to show you. And my job is to introduce as many people as I humanly possibly can to wholesaling. And you know what? I want you to get the right information, because if I can make it work from 2003 up to 2024, we can do amazing things with it. So you tell me, am I off the mark in here? Put it in the comments. You tell me. I'm just telling you guys, I just find it ironic. All of these people that were just so great at wholesaling, a lot of them are gone. Now, I give credit to the ones that are out there still teaching it, although we don't agree with every way we do it. But honestly, I love people that stick with this business and run a marathon. Sprinters, they always run out of gas and they go to another business. They look for the next thing they can sell. That's not what we do.
So let's talk about this. Why we're having an emergency meeting. So some big changes happening. We got to talk about it. And, we're kind of thinking about it. So we're actually in Dallas, Texas right now. We got our big Flipper Plus live event coming Wednesday, Thursday. It's going to be recorded. We got everything ready for you so you guys can actually get the recording of the information we're going to talk about, because a lot of the stuff we're talking about is going to be kind of what we're saying today. Yeah. And I kind of want to do a little live stream about it today, but really just we're thinking about it. And we're going to do another stream tomorrow with some successful wholesalers. And we have wholesalers around the country, making 6-7 figures that are coming, and they're talking about the changes that are happening. Mm-hmm. And these changes we're going to record. It's going to be for you guys here, but it got me thinking, and it really, I'm seeing some crazy things happening today. I didn't even know I was going to do this video today until I landed in Dallas and said, we got to do this. So some crazy things have happened. And so let's talk about this, and let's break this all down. So the first thing is 2024. According to gurus, this is the worst, scariest, the worst year ever to get into wholesaling, right? And if you watch the play-by-play, it's always the play. 2023 was the worst year to get into wholesaling. 2022 is the worst. 2021 was scary. Oh, everything's changing, right? It was always the worst, and the worst was always happening. And every single time I saw that, I've seen that since 2019, really. And since 2019, I've just seen my income go up and up and up and up and up. And I gotta call it out that no, these changes aren't bad. These are actually money-making opportunities. And if you're smart, all you just listen to what we gotta say, and we'll help you adapt. You don't have to be some genius to make these to adapt. And we're going to show you exactly what we're talking about today. But it is the greatest year ever to get into wholesaling. And the truth is, because in 2025, there's going to be more wholesalers. It's going to be more saturated. I hate to tell you this, but the one caveat here is there's going to be more wholesaling deals to be done, because the more wholesalers there are in this industry, the more, I hate to say it, 19-year-old TikTok kids, the more opportunities we have. And with the exodus of these realtors with that another lawsuit, more wholesalers are coming down the pipeline. The acceptance of wholesaling is coming, and it has been coming for honestly a very, very long time. And so 2024, this is the greatest year. This is an opportunity for you to seize this, because if you can start making 80, 90, 100 grand this year, and you start the momentum coming in, sky's the limit. And so I want you to understand, we're getting told this, and it not stress me out. It just drives me crazy that oh, it's the worst year ever to get in. It's not the worst year ever to get into wholesaling. It's the best. And so let's kind of talk about the reasons why it's the best, what we can do, and actually how we actually start becoming successful. And so the first thing, and probably the most important one, is AI is coming. And this is one thing that I've been seeing, and one thing I want to keep a warning out to everyone, because I get ads like this all the time, and I have to do this emergency meeting because we're at a point now where I've talked to at least 15 six-figure wholesalers that have come to me, and a lot of these people are coming to the event, and Zach, I'm getting told about this AI thing for wholesaling, this thing, and I say, okay, show me, and I see it. And let's talk about one example. And it might be boring to you. Click off the video. I don't care. This is important information. There's these new softwares that will cold call the seller for you. Yep. They'll have the AI have the voice, It'll analyze what the person says and then spit out a conversation with a script and go from there. Now, let's talk about this from a high level and let's go all the way down on this, okay? Because you will, if you pitch this, you'll have an ad, your buddy's going to tell you about this. So let's really talk about the truth, because if you fall in this trap, you will get sued. You're going to get a big fine. You're going to get hurt. Same thing happened with RVMs. And so let's talk about what this is. So basically, this is what I personally, this is the greatest thing ever if, you know, the Constitution wasn't real. But like, you can have AI call 100,000 people at once, right? No employees, no system. Call 100,000 people at once. Use really good AI systems. They're using some Chat GPT API link, right? And what they do is they have a conversation and just basically saying, do you want to sell your property? At the end of the day, that's what they're doing. And if you are, then you get 1,000 people out of 100,000 say they want to sell your house. Now you're narrowed it down. Now you can contact these people all day. That's great. Are you kidding me?
That sounds incredible.
You know what I would do? I'm just being honest. I would send 365 million calls, which is every single person in the United States of America, and see if they want a cash offer on their property, right?
That's how you scale it.
And guess what? I can do it in 5 seconds because it's AI. Here's the thing. You know who did that? Those auto warranty guys.
They call me.
Call me or your auto warranty. Guess what happens when you call 300 million people? Uncle Sam gets a knocking.
Yep.
And here's the problem. If I'm willing to send 400 million calls, do you think Joe Schmo wholesaler is willing to do that? Do you think Ed Johnson's willing to do that? Are you willing to think Sally? Now we have 100,000 wholesalers who are willing to spend $100 probably. It's cheap to send 100 million. I mean, what's 300 million calls multiplied by 1,000? That's billions of calls. Like that means if I'm a motivated seller or if I'm a high equity seller, you know how many calls? I'm probably gonna get 1,000 calls a day.
You're gonna answer your phone anymore.
Boom. And so unfortunately, unfortunately, we have laws against this. We have the TCPA. It's called the Telephone Communication Protections Act of 1991. I'm not a guru, so I'm not going to say there's a law and just trust me. I love that. You know, there's a law. Trust me.
Don't research it.
It's called the Telephone Communication Protections Act of 1991 or 1992. One of those. TCPA, Telephone Communication Protections Act. And basically, you can't do an auto dialer or an auto call or an auto text or basically any of those features.
I got one. I forgot to tell you, I got one the other day from a software looking for cash buyers. You could tell it was AI because I'm like, who is this? They got a private number. And then once they found out someone was real in there, you could hear a guy scrambling to get on the phone. And I immediately disconnected. And so they're doing it in all aspects, from the marketing side and building the cash buyers list. Guys, people are smart. I love AI, but I'm just telling you, you're correct on that problem, because we had the problem back in 2016, 17, where remember all the data became available, it was somewhat affordable. And the smart wholesalers, they just robo-dialed and they got call centers and everything else. And so here we are today with a lot of restrictions. And if we could all dial 330 mil, however many homes there are in America, in a second, if I can do it, you can do it, we're all going to get in trouble. So we have to understand that AI, you still have to work within the framework of the laws.
Let's talk about this. And so here's the problem. That sounds great on paper.
Yeah.
The problem is I've seen this happen before. And what I mean by this is 3 years ago, this thing called ringless voicemails became a thing. And it was amazing for us. It was basically an opportunity. It wasn't AI, wasn't a thing back in the good old days. I think it's about 2019, I believe, 2020, like early before.
Explain the concept of it.
So the concept was you could just insert a voicemail into anyone's phone number and you do instantly as many as you want.
Without it ringing.
Ringless. And so basically it's like you have a new voicemail. It's like, I didn't get a call. And basically said, hey, sorry to answer your call. This is Zach. I'm actually looking to buy your property for cash. Sorry I didn't answer, but if you want, just call me back and see if I can buy your property or something stupid, right? Yeah. And basically, I sent, I don't know if I should say this on air, but I sent a number. Maybe it was 0, maybe it was 100,000. I don't want to say it. But for a very, very low cost, I was able to send a number of ringless voicemails out instantly. And I got a lot of leads. and good amount of deals from this.
I still don't know how they skipped ringing the phone and went straight to voicemail.
It's pretty cool. But here's the problem. Then everyone started doing it. Everyone. And think about this. If you could send 1 million voicemails in someone's mailbox saying that, it's amazing, right?
Unlimited potential.
But here's the problem. Again, anyone could do it, and they started doing it, right? And this was illegal because according to TCPA law, this was in the 90s too. You can't have a system where you click a button, it sends 100,000 texts in a second, because that's as spam as you can. Now, the government can't say no to telemarketing because your politicians, I don't care what side of the aisle they are, they cold call. You didn't know this. In the DNC and the RNC headquarters, your legal representatives, they sit down and they call donors that have donated in the past, and they cold call these people. And a lot of companies make a lot of money cold calling. Insurance, stockbrokers, like it's a business. And so they can't stop it. But the way that they kind of can stop you is you have to actually call yourself, or you can have a software, but you still have to click it and still be a person. And so I was like, what's the fine really, right? And the Southern District of Florida, we have lots of case law on this. Personally, 2 people we know got hit with $50,000 and $75,000 fines on ringless voicemails, and a lot more people started getting hit because you can trace it really easy.
It was $25K per call.
Yeah, and remember, unfortunately, we have a lot of assets.
Yeah.
And so is it worth getting caught? No, and if you knew you get a ringless voicemail, you get $25,000 per call, and you have assets, oh, be easy money.
But funny, that warranty company that made all those calls?
Oh, that was
they
funny
made
too.
So much money off of it. I think they settled on like a $2 or $4 billion fine, and they just kind of laughed because they did like 100 times that type of sales.
Let's not,
the problem is we are not Apple. We are not these big
We're
companies.
not going to make $6 billion.
If you get hit with $25,000 over 100,000 phone calls, do the math. Like there's no way to survive that.
It takes one lawyer. It takes 2 lawyers at $50K a pop to destroy your $100 ad spend. And so we're seeing laws already coming down the pipeline from the FCC about regulating AI calling and texting.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's another thing. And I love talking to all these SMS companies. Yes, it would be perfect if you can send a text and then AI can just text the guy for you.
Oh, yeah.
It's illegal because you're not the one behind it. And so I just want you guys to understand this, that AI is coming. And yes, you can tell AI is a phone call. You can tell the phone call is like, in 5 years, you won't be able to. And the only way they're going to figure out is if you get caught using a software like that, government's coming for you. The government's coming for you, and they're going to destroy you. And you're going to lose a lot of money. And a lot of people are going to get hurt. And I feel like there's going to be some big government intervention. There's already against the law to be doing this. And so I've seen 4 big companies already get shut down for AI wholesaling over this. And so just be very, very careful. AI is kind of this term being used around, thrown around, and you're probably going to be pitched from your wholesaling guru about a cold calling AI software service. When you get hit with the fine, it's not funny. That's why RVMs got away really quick. And there's some, should I mention this? Maybe I should. There's a guru that sold an RVM service, and they had to flee the country. That's all I can say. Read between the lines. And so like we see there's a lot of things in this industry. There's a lot of dirty laundry, if you will. And the best way that I keep myself out of getting sued or getting in trouble or hurting the people is I just do what I think is right and I follow the law. And when I see this AI thing coming, I feel like a lot of people can get hurt from this. And this is an emergency message I have to give to people. So AI is coming. There are ways you can use AI to get government lists, digital bandit signs, all that. That's all legal and fine. But these calling and texting AI services, be very, very careful of it. I'm just being honest with you, okay? Like, technically, you can call the DNC list. Like, there's ways you can legally get around that. But the AI thing, you're going to get hurt. And that's the problem. And so, like you said before, and I want you guys to understand that there are big changes coming. We're talking about this all today, right? That's the point. But I do want to let you know that there are certain things that never die in this business. And so there's one guy I want to give you an example of. 2016, when the data started becoming public, wholesaling changed. Heck, when Zillow came about, 2010, 11, the game changed.
Yep.
The game's changed so many times. There are certain wholesalers that me and Rick know since 1984 that have been wholesaling. And they've only done 2 things. And they make 6 figures easily every year. And they only do two things. Two things. I know wholesalers since the 80s and 90s that have only done two things, and their income's only gone up. With all these changes, heck, some of them don't even own smartphones. They got the flip phones. You know what they do? They do two things, tried and true. The next 50 years, I know it's going to work, and it ain't going to change. Trying for dollars, okay, and direct mail. Those two things have not changed in the past 150 years, and they ain't going to change in the next 50 to 100 years. So there are certain changes happening, but there's certain things that just don't change at all. Okay, it's like being football. If you are super tall and super jacked, you could probably be pretty decent at football, right? If you're 7 feet tall, you have a better chance of being good at basketball, right? There's certain factors that time kind of will always help you with. And so the first thing is AI, guys. There are ways to use AI to help you out a lot, but there are some pitfalls for this that no one talks about. And I just don't want to see you guys hurt. And I wait till you get a $50,000
My
fine.
last thing on AI, I want you to understand, AI is an incredible marketing tool, and you are going to have to use it or you're going to get run over. Every guru in America is trying to pitch their own AI software. The problem is you got to compete with Microsoft, Google, and Apple. You can't compete with trillion-dollar companies, and the iterations are going to be massive over the next 18 to 24 months. Number two, I get pitched this all the time saying AI can find the leads, talk to your leads, negotiate the leads, and close your leads. I would love to see it. I would love, that means we don't exist. We are all replaced. And the reality of wholesaling is your ability to connect, help people out, and help them get out of their own way. AI, unfortunately, does not have the empathy or the understanding of the human heart and the mind.
5 to 10 years.
It's got the brain for it, but we learn how to connect with people. No one's ever going to connect with a computer. But I see this all the time. Oh, it'll do everything for you. Guys, listen to the pitch you're getting. Think about this. AI is going to be an incredible marketing tool. And all the software companies that you use, they have to get way out ahead of it, and they're going to have to go to war on it. Let them do it. Let's find the best iteration. It's not me and Zach aren't coming up with it. I'm not a computer guy. I'm a person who learns how to connect with people to buy their houses to help them out. That's what I'm going to do best. If I can find AI that'll help me do it, I'll do it. Do I think AI is going to replace what I do? There's no way. And AIs aren't going to replace realtors. They're going to replace a lot of the stuff they do, but the people that just cannot communicate to people, that's why we exist. We are extremely specialized in the niche we do. There's no way AI is going to replace from A to Z wholesaling. It's impossible because you have human beings involved.
No, and remember, so the Industrial Revolution changed the way men worked with their muscles, because now you have these machines that could plow fields the same way as 100 men could. That changed anything? No, it just made you more efficient. AI's not changing the muscles or how people work with their bodies, but it's working how they work with their brains. What you found with the Industrial Revolution is efficiency went up, right? Yeah. Oh, these cars. No, I'm a horse. I do horseshoes for a living. These car things are going to destroy me. You just that guy becomes a mechanic, right? And so just understanding that this AI buzzword you're happening. And one last word on AI. I have seen the AI is going to find the deal for you. And I found a couple instances of AI is going to have the score. It's going to find instantly what the cash buyer for you is going to be. I ain't lying to you. A cash buyer is not something an AI score can find. Finding a wholesaling data set, I would love, trust me, raise your hand, tell me the software that it gives you 500 leads, you call them, and 90% of them want to sell the property and they're all booked appointments. Here's the problem. It is a random game, all right? AI, the way these wholesalers are doing AI, and this is a bad example, but it's the best one I can give. You know, it's kind of the most random, you can't really use AI to figure this out if it's going to work or not. You can kind of get it close, but you can't. It's like dating. AI is not going to pull the most beautiful women in the area that think you're funny and cool. You have to meet in person and see if it works, right? There's no AI that's going to tell you if it's perfect or not. Either you click or you don't. The problem is these wholesaling software companies are telling you, you have a deal here, 20 buyers, they all want to buy your deal. It don't work like that. You kind of have to have that little date, see if it clicks or not. The problem is, and we're a little different on this, I think, AI will be as good as you or me in the next 5 to 10 years on the phones, no question about it. But here's the thing about it. AI is going to have parameters. It's going to OpenAI is going to be running at Microsoft. Here's the one thing about AI that people are going to get smart with. Hey, do you have any kids AI? AI can't lie. If it's using a program from Microsoft, it won't lie.
Maybe
it won't say, I have a kid, her name's Mary. No. And it will tell you that, no, I don't have any kids. And it's going to ask, are you AI? It's going to say, no, I'm not. It's going to say, I am AI. Like these companies, you can't lie, right? And so the thing is, AI can be just as good as the phones. And there are people in my market that we compete with that are better than me on the phones. It's rare, but there are. How do you think I beat them? Because they live in California. I meet them at the house. Boom, deal closed. And so AI can't meet you at the house. And so that's the one thing we got for the next 100 years, maybe.
So if AI can't lie, then maybe AI should just replace the gurus.
Trust me, I love fact checking these gurus. But just FYI, I think a lot of people are freaked out in the future about AI and conversations. They're going to close better than you. AI won't be able to lie, and I promise you this, because it's going to be programmed not to lie. It's like when you look at self-driving cars. Self-driving cars are programmed not to hit other self-driving cars. It doesn't work. And so you're just going to understand that. AI is not going to say it owns 4 kids and it lives locally, because it won't.
That's
so just understand, don't freak out over that. Now, that's the best on AI, but like it's like dating.
What about asking how old are you?
See, it's not gonna
Where
lie.
are you from?
Unless you own the AI software, which costs millions of dollars to do. You're not going to program it to lie. Microsoft, who owns part of OpenAI, is not going to allow you to do that, right? They ain't going to allow that to happen. Yeah. And so I just want you guys to understand this. Don't be freaking out over this. Now, the last part is these new softwares are telling you will find you a confidence score if it's a good deal or not. It ain't going to happen. It's just you have to go out here, and you can find a list that has some motivation to it, but there is a timing portion of this that no one understands. You got to go out here and just ask.
Well, just think about like dating apps and stuff. They have all this stuff where they try to give you the perfect match.
It can help. It can help.
I know.
It can help.
If you think about it, it helps in the marketing aspect of that. But when it comes at the end of the day, you got to connect with people and you got to do this human element.
Yep.
I think this whole cash buyer AI thing, listen, guys, if it sounds too good to be true, you're typically being sold something. And what drives me crazy is when people create products inside of wholesaling. I believe some have the right intention, but I believe some are just trying to give you a marketing pitch. In the last, I'd say 5 years, wholesalers are naturally good marketers. So they find a problem, they find the perfect pitch solution, but the reality is it doesn't really work. And we're seeing a lot of it. And I've seen all you guys' comments. A lot of you guys will buy like 10 products, maybe 1 out of the 10 works. And that's the reality. That means someone's got to be lying to you on the marketing, and you got to learn to recognize it. So I've been around long enough to go, I don't believe that's going to work. I don't close my mind on it, but I can tell you, AI ain't closing you from like head to toe. There's going to be, as Zach says, if the thing can't lie to you, how are you going to do that personal connection? Because if you make it purely transactional, you're not going to get a great wholesale deal, period.
Like I put in an AI, I said, write a description for YouTube videos showing that how to make $10,000 a month wholesaling. And it basically says that we can't promise you can make $10,000 a month wholesaling. It says that that's a lie. You can't promise that. So it's very like, what do you call it? Politically correct. So yeah. Let's talk about AI. Let's stop talking about it. But like, you're going to get promoted that AI is going to do all this. It ain't wholesaling. It's like the dating. You just got to go out there and see if the date works, which is the appointment, right?
Correct.
That's it. People trust you, and that's the best way to do it. And so, yes, AI is going to get better. I promise you guys. It just there's ways to use it, and there's ways not to use it. Now, let's talk about the next big thing: interest rates. So, the last emergency meeting, we had a very high confidence score. Interest rates were being cut. Real estate's about to boom like crazy. We got to prepare, right? And something crazy has been happening, and inflation's just still going crazy. And so we're probably going to see some rate cuts, but not as much as we're saying. So we see real estate still having an upward trend, but not as crazy. And I think we have to understand that buyers aren't going to be as hot as we thought, like 2021, right? So just cool your expectations for a crazy bull run. I mean, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, it's, the bottom line problem is the government's just printing too much money. And the reality is the Federal Reserve can only do so much, because what's really pushing inflation is there's just too much money in circulation. more money in circulation, the more you have to compete for goods, the more you have to compete for wages. And they're particularly focused on wages. And you hear all these things about minimum wage. Listen, guys, all that stuff just gets passed to the end user. So if you're going to go to California and you're going to order a burger and you got to pay $15 for an employee, which will soon be a machine, you're just passing it along. In fact, I'll tell you, the big companies love that because they can do it. The small ones can't do it. But what we've all been trying to like, just even the stock market, real estate, we're looking for interest rates to drop, the Fed to cut it. But it looks like September, the bare minimum before they have a cut. And there's even hints, if it goes up one more time, they might jack the rates up like another 0.25%. And if they do that, I'm here to tell you, if you do wholesaling correct, it doesn't matter if the rates are going up, if the rates are going down. We buy discounted properties on today's value. We are not speculators. We sell to speculators. So you have to understand, if you are sitting on the sidelines waiting to get in the wholesaling because you're waiting for this interest rate drop, I'm just telling you, go out and learn it now. Now's the time to get it. 2003 I was like, oh my God, you're crazy. I was told I missed the boat. I've watched him. If I thought wholesaling was a dying breed, and I truly believe it, do you think I would even like promoted him, putting you into it? Like
it'd be a fix and flip real estate channel.
Correct. And so I don't do fix and flip shows. I'm just telling you, stop obsessing about the interest rates, because here's the reality is Americans use their homes like piggy banks. And I'm telling you, when these rates do drop, I think you're going to see a major volume spike. Now, here's the catch-22 is people use their houses as piggy banks.
Yes.
How do they do that? They have to refinance it or they have to sell it.
True.
But they don't want to replace it with the highest mortgage rate. The average homeowner keeps their 30-year mortgage for just around 5 years.
Yep.
So most of these rates came in 2020, right? 2021. So we're
not most of them, but yeah, there's
a lot are coming in. And
yeah, you're not
listen,
wrong.
people can only hold out so long before they're going to access that cash. Number two, when the rates drop, that usually pushes property values up because it means people can afford more home and a mortgage. So
well, you want to talk about the big one too? There's a lot of boomers coming on, and if you're, I don't know the best way to say this, but a lot of boomers bought their house in 1974 for $5 and a nickel, and it's worth $1.2 million, and it's free and clear, and then they died. And then their kids, who have no money because it costs $5 million to buy a house, decide to sell the property. Money, 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 money.
Yep.
And then that free and clear property gets turned into high interest rate loan property. And so we're seeing a lot of this. It's a lot of free and clear properties owned by people who've owned it for a while. They're dying. And you know, these kids, I deal with probates all the time. What's the first? Sell it. Sell it.
Yep.
All that. It's all that. Sell it. That's what they do.
So the bottom line is the rate's going to be pushed back. Guys, we don't control it. Sitting here worrying about it, doing anything like that, you get more creative in the business. Properties are still selling. They always will. They always have. Even in the worst market, as in 2011, I still did deals. I still did them.
Why? Because
I still did them. Nobody, like, I had to beg for people to buy a house. You just got creative. You know what? I just did more deals, and I did more than survive. I did just fine. It wasn't like, it was nerve-wracking at the time because everyone thinking like, this can be a 10-year run like this. It wasn't. Guys, most down markets are 12 to 24 months. Like, that's, if you statistically look at it on paper, when they go down and they go up. Remember, real estate's slow. And you've got to understand that. The interest rate thing is, I don't know why people obsess about it. If you're a wholesaler, yeah, you need to know it for your cash buyers because they use that, because they have to deal with that. But we deal with properties we buy today at discounted rates. And if you're waiting to get a wholesaling based on interest rates, you have to have wholesaling explained to you. It is a business. We are not fix and flippers. We are not speculators. This is a business. It's centered around marketing. And honestly, real estate is just a byproduct, in my opinion. We teach people how to connect, how to build rapport. And once you do that, we just walk them off the ledge. We look for problem properties. We're not looking for the top of the line, the MLS stuff. And I think in the last 4 or 5 years, people have gotten so confused with realtor licensing laws And like, should I get a license? And you don't get wholesaling if you get wrapped up in that conversations. You get wrapped up in this fear mongering. Listen, if you got a real estate license because you were a realtor before and you converted over to wholesaling, I'm fine, keep it. But like if you're doing it the other way around, you really like ask yourself, why am I doing this? So many times, especially in the United States, we do things just because somebody else did it. Somebody told me to do it. Guys, use your head. Whenever you hear somebody talk about a law, look it up. I heard somebody said, so-and-so said on YouTube that it's going to be illegal. Just look it up. That's all me and Zach do is look it up and we read it. We read it head to toe. I don't take other people's interpretation. So bottom line with interest rates, guys, it doesn't matter. It could potentially go up, but eventually it'll go down. I don't think you're ever going to see 2 and 3%. I think the base rate's going to be 5.5% for the next 10 years. So like we're at like 7.25, 7.5 right now.
Yeah.
It's really not that far off, guys. So it's like, if that is keeping you on the sideline, come over to freewholesaling.com. Let me show you how this game is really played, because it's not based on interest rates. Interest rates are something you have to pay attention on investments you have and when you're trying to work capital. And the biggest problem right now with our cash buyers, especially on the bigger fix and flips, is they have to project a year or two down the road, and they all want to see an interest rate cut. Why? Because money costs a lot more money. And it's not just in real estate, it's in all businesses. So the whole interest rate argument, I find it ironic. Businesses have to pay more for capital now, bottom line. So if someone's going to do a 1-year fix and flip project on $1 million home, you're going to have bigger spreads because they're going to demand it. But eventually that tide will turn. Don't wait till it turns. Get out ahead of it. Learn it. Wholesaling is a journey, guys, and you're going to have to cut your teeth, and you're going to have to meet with a lot of sellers and figure out how to talk to them and how to do the marketing.
Exactly. And so just even in 2008, 2009, 2010, the reason why wholesaling always beats fix and flip and all that other stuff, and I we'll get into it a little later today. Trust me, we got a lot on our mind. We're getting a lot of people starting to promote this, that you should just be buying the house yourself and flip it yourself, or wholesale it, or do. Guys, we talk about wholesaling because it is the only business in the United States of America that is legal. Okay, that is legal. If you're ugly like me, I can't really go out here and make money because I'm so pretty. I can't do that. And so to make 30 grand in a month that costs $0 at all, I can't shake my butt on the internet. So what can I do? Wholesale. Like, that's the only way to make 30 grand in a month. Just being honest, right? And so unless you're an NBA athlete, it ain't going to work. And the problem is there's so much risk when you fix and flip a house. And so let's talk about real estate. Let's do worst case scenario. Let's do guru doomer thing. Let's say real estate goes down 70% next year. Let's say this.
Okay.
If I buy a house and flip it, I'm going to lose my butt, right? I'll go bankrupt and lose everything, right? Crazy. But if I decided to wholesale and I locked it up for 70 grand, and let's say now the property's worth 40 grand, I can renegotiate for 35, still make 5. And here's the thing. Cash buyers are still buying. There's always going to be people with money. There's always going to be cash buyers. I think a lot of people don't understand this. Even in 2008, 2009, 2010, there's a lot of rich people still. A lot of rich people. And these are, I love what I call recession-proof buyers. And sometimes you have to make your own buyers. We talked about this in the last event, and we're releasing the entire event Wednesday, Thursday. We're excited about that. But we talked about the concept of recession-proof buyers because everyone's so freaked out of what happens. So one of our biggest buyers were doctors, because you don't understand, heart surgeons and orthopedic surgeons, they'll make $800,000, $900,000, $1.2 million. They make a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And do people stop having heart attacks in 2009? No, they did not.
Yeah,
right? And so those people still made a lot of money. All right. And you can't really cut the salary of a surgeon. Right. And so these people still made money. And I know you don't feel it around your circle, but there's a lot of rich people, even in 2008, 2009. Okay. And they said, wow, stocks keep going down. Maybe I should buy some assets that are going to pay me at least 10%, and I can kind of hold it, depreciate it, and then when it comes up, I can do well.
Yeah.
And a lot of them bought real estate, and a lot of them still are buying real estate right now.
Their CPAs tell them to go buy real estate.
And so
they're like, just buy it. Like, whatever price, just buy it. You need write-offs.
In the wholesale, in fix and flip, you don't have that. And so that's another big thing. But another big thing is, yeah, there's always going to be buyers, but there's always going to be sellers. Here's the one thing. There's one fundamental thing that's saved everyone's butt in the last recession. I wasn't there, obviously. But I'll tell you this, it's probates. People still die. Okay. Once the only thing promised in life is death. And if you're alive, you will die. And I hate to tell you, you could be young, old, it's going to happen. And those people own real estate and they're going to be motivated sellers to get rid. And guess what? If, God forbid, your grandma dies, hope that never happens, but it probably will. Guess what? Now they have a house. What are you going to do if you're struggling? You're going to liquidate that asset because it's only taking your money. Yeah. And boom, us wholesalers still survive. And so you got to understand this 2008 recession and everything like that. Everyone thinks it's like the New England Patriots, that it's like a 7-year dynasty, 15-year dynasty. Tom Brady's no, it's like the Dallas Cowboys. Like they're contenders once every 25 years. Okay,
we're in Dallas. Don't do that.
Okay, sorry. Who goes around and wins the Super Bowl every 25, 30 years?
Just wait every 50.
Dolphins are 50 years. It's more like 20. Yeah. So, okay, we won't use the Cowboys. I mean, Eagles are doing really well. Giants do really well. We can use the Commanders, I guess. But it's a once every 20, 30-year thing. Okay, like the last big one was kind of in the 70s, 80s, that weird inflation, and then like that stagflation thing in the 87. Mm-hmm. We didn't really see anything like that in the 90s, 2000, a little bit early 2000s. So just like FYI, it's a very rare occurrence. And so just like don't be freaking out. And I'm talking back to the Dolphins side. I mean, we haven't won a Super Bowl since the 70s. So just FYI, I'm kidding. But I'm trying to understand that everyone thinks the next recession is going to be a 15-year dread doom fest. And no, you're going to make plenty of money learning how to wholesale. And so just FYI, the interest rate thing, don't be freaking over it. You're going to be fine. This business is always going to be working. You just got to learn how to do it. And so the big thing too, and the big change, I think, I've been getting so many messages about this. I call it the big wholesaling bans guru lie. Everyone and their mom has told me that wholesaling is banned. This is banned. The world's ending. Wholesaling is done. And I'm a very logical person. That's just me and my nature. Okay. I used to be a guy that believed everyone. And then I learned everyone lies basically on the internet about real estate. And I didn't start not believing anyone. And so this trend started in 2019, 2018 with Oklahoma. If you asked anybody, they said Oklahoma wholesaling is illegal. You need a license. That is it. And I trusted source. Yes, sir. You're right. Mm-hmm. And and then started getting virtual deals. And then guess what I saw? It was really weird. I started seeing kids say, Zach, I just made 40 grand Oklahoma. I'm like, how do you do that? It's illegal. Said, no, it's not. What are you talking about? You just can't publicly market for it. And the lawyers at the title company say it's fine. I said, let me read the law. I read the law. Wholesaling's not banned. It's a type of marketing is banned in wholesaling. I'm like, so these gurus just use fear to sell the course. Huh. And guess what? We had, and I ain't going to lie, this is a big change we do have to talk about. There's been about 4 to 5 wholesaling laws introduced and probably going to pass this year in a lot of these states. And that is concerning. I will tell you that is a concern I do have. But I got so fed up and everyone said, it says ban, 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 ban. I'm like, you know what? I got so frustrated.
Go search it on YouTube, the amount of banned wholesale videos. It's
I got so frustrated. I sat down and said, you know what? Let me just screen share that. I'm going to go for as long as I want. I sat down and talked about every single law in the United States of America that had the word wholesaling in it. I sat down and brought it all down. And what you basically found was wholesaling was basically in a gray area in Illinois, and that was the only one. And that was in Illinois, I think the law passed 2017, 2018. I don't quote me on that, but it was the first wholesaling law ever passed. And that was the only one that kind of had a weird gray area to wholesaling. That was pretty much it. And to the day in Illinois, and I'm hopefully I don't get in trouble saying this, but like there hasn't been one instance of somebody getting in trouble or being stopped from wholesaling without a license in Illinois. There hasn't been one instance.
How come gurus don't talk about that part?
And I never said, I just said don't wholesale Illinois. I always just said don't wholesale Illinois. And the past year, I've kind of been thinking about what I've been saying lately because I truly believe I'm not no wholesaling, I don't think I'm some big shot guy, but I do believe people do listen to us, and we got to be truthful of what we say. And so I've gotten like 20 checks sent to me in the past couple of years of people in Illinois. And I'm like, I'm scratching my head because these are like 16-year-old kids. And they're like, they said the title companies, like they interpreted it a different way. And like, just no one's doing anything about it. And they're just letting them do it. And the cool part is the title company allows it. The liability is kind of on the title company, for allowing that. And the lawyer signs off on it. And the more years that come by with this and no one's really getting, attacked for this, the more it's kind of more acceptable. And it's kind of like in Florida, there's this acceptable rule. And I don't want to kind of use it, but it's true. In Florida, if you don't go 10 miles above the speed limit, the cop's going to basically pull you over and say, what are you doing, man? And so it's kind of a basic rule in Florida, in South Florida, basically, where if the speed limit's 70, the speed limit is really 85. 20 miles on by the speed. That's
except
the speed
in
limit.
Miami, it's 95 or you're stuck in traffic.
And so it's kind of like if you go 80, no cop's going to pull you over unless you're being a jerk, right?
Yeah.
For going 10 miles over the speed limit. Technically they could, but it doesn't have, unless you're a jerk, right? But the thing is, I'm seeing more and more wholesalers in Illinois, and I'm waiting, but more kids are wholesaling in Illinois, and there's no problem at all because the law is the way they wrote that law in Illinois was interpreted. It could be interpreted 100 ways.
Yeah,
I'm not even kidding you. And
it's been what, 5 years now?
Yes,
5, 6 years.
And now the Illinois, and let me give a quote here, and I'm giving a quote. The Illinois, the board, the Illinois board said we're going to give our full breakdown of what this law means in detail a month after it passed. It's been 5 years and we haven't gotten it. And I've called the board and we don't have anything on it. And so they couldn't legally put a definition on it because let me tell you this truth. The way the Illinois law was written, if I am a guy that owns a Subway franchise, you have to buy the building, then you put the Subway on there, right? If I decided I want to buy 2 more Subway franchises because I'm doing well and I write up contract myself without a realtor, I would be breaking that law. It's not wholesale. See, here's the thing about wholesaling laws, and I want you to understand this, and I said this very hard in the videos in wholesaling.com. To make a law to ban wholesaling, you must make a law to ban buying real estate without a license. You have to. That is the only way to close the loophole. The only way. The only way. And so you're telling me you're going to stop the greatest money cash cow maker for $1 billion industry of Redfin realtor? It ain't going to happen. And what I mean by this is Zillow for sale by owners are the top 2 lead sources by far for realtors in the United States of America. Let's talk about this conspiracy right now. I know everyone has this conspiracy that NAR is trying to stop wholesaling. They are not. Okay? Because to stop wholesaling, you must ban Zillow for sale by owners. Because they are, right? You can't. And guess what? If I like a house on Zillow for sale by owner and I want to offer it to them and I'm not using a realtor, I would be arrested too. That ain't going to happen, right? And so here's the thing. Realtors call FSBOs all day, every day. That's all they do. And expired listings, right? That's all they do. Or they get word of mouth or they do some flyer thing. That's top 3 ways realtors get clients, just being honest, or they know someone. Are you telling me to ban FSBOs? You're going to ruin their leads because they just can't go to PropStream and call. Like it's a different industry, right? They can't do that. You're telling me NAR really wants to get rid of that? No, Zillow makes a lot of money with that, right? And so it ain't going to happen. And so Illinois kind of made that law to stop wholesalers. And we kind of, us wholesalers said, okay, well, give us the actual, tell us that FSBOs are banned. That's basically what us wholesalers have said. And now NAR, which is, the headquarters is at? Illinois. Say, okay, NAR, tell us that FSBOs are banned. Basically, NAR is running Illinois. Well, we can't do that, right? We can't because that's how newbie realtors make their money and they pay us our dues. And so now we're at this class right now in the industry of wholesaling that I'm telling you, no one besides me or Rick talk about this. We're at a class right now where do realtors want to give up their number 1 lead source to attack wholesalers, which really, like, it's 1% of transactions? Yeah, they don't want to do that. But tell me if I'm wrong. Am I right that if you want to ban wholesaling, you have to ban FSBOs? Because these Illinois laws says you can't make offers. You can't write up contracts with all that. I'm telling you right now, You have to ban
Listen.
FSBOs to ban wholesaling, and the realtors will not do it. And so I know all these gurus saying, "All right, it ain't happening."
Guys, the bottom line is there is a lot of books, a lot of laws on the books in the United States that just aren't really. It's just assumed that it's okay. It's illegal to switch lanes in the United States without putting on your turn signal, but we all do it to a point. And the reality is, a lot of this, the Oklahoma law, like all these ones that all these people talk about in videos, is they will never give you the follow-up saying there's never been one enforced. Why is that? So, like, if we're here to educate the wholesaling community, don't you guys got to get both sides of the story? Because I don't know, if I was in Illinois or something like that and I saw 5 years, you haven't enforced it once, I'm probably just going to move on. Especially if I'm a young kid starting out wholesaling, I'm in that backyard. Like, we always tell you risk reward. Now, I'm not telling you people to take legal, break the law or do stuff that's going to hinder you and get you in legal trouble. But the reality is that all this fear coming down, it's like, hey, Zach, don't turn lanes without putting on your turn signal or you're going to get pulled over. It's a $150 fine. Guys, listen, I break this law every day. Like, I just tell you, right? Like, it's just, I go over the speed limit. I do stupid stuff. I think we are falling in that category. And people always talk about, oh, let's get a group together. We'll all work together. The reality is, get all the people together and put a fund together. So when the one person who does get attacked, you go get the biggest, baddest lawyer. You beat it with the United States Constitution, which guarantees your right. You win it in appeal, and then that's the case law you go around.
Well, let's talk about this.
That's the only way to fix it, though.
Well, here's the thing. I've already done this concept, and I've talked to, I don't know if I can say this on air, but like I've talked to everyone you can think of lately. Okay, that's all I can say about this concept. And us wholesalers, I'm not going to mention anything else on this, but I will say this on the emergency meeting. I've talked to some of the biggest names in wholesaling, if you can, that will, private conversation wise. And I won't say anything, but I think we're all in agreement as wholesalers that these wholesaling laws and bans or whatever is clearly unconstitutional.
It's ridiculous.
Let's talk about this. So I'm not bad. And this is not a bad mouth to any other wholesaler on YouTube or on the internet, okay? Because we're actually, like, as an industry, I think every single person on YouTube actually agrees that this is an unconstitutional, these bans. They clearly will not pass. That's all I can say on that end. Now, let me say what on me and Rick's end. We have the Constitution, we have the contract clause in the Constitution that does protect us. And what I believe is just find me one person that gets attacked for wholesaling. Find me one, please. Find me one. Find me one. You can't. You can't. Okay? We have hundreds of thousands of transactions done. You can't find one.
And that's the problem here.
But here's the thing. Find me one. What I want to do is I'll pay the 50 grand. I don't know what it is. Who cares? Right? Right? But like, pay it, appeal it again, go to the Supreme Court. Who's on the Supreme Court right now? We have 6. I'm not political right now. My political party is the Wholesaling Real Estate Party. It's the party that helps wholesaling. And so here's the thing. We have 6 conservative Supreme Court justices, and we have 3 liberal ones, if you will. Liberal ones, Supreme Court justices, will not look at the Constitution as much, and they will kind of look at a more progressive view of the Constitution. Nothing wrong with that. That's just what they do. Now, the conservative justices are strict, what we call fundamentalists. Not all of them, but I would say 4 of them are what we call strict fundamentalists for the Constitution, which means they believe in the Constitution. They believe that is the word. There's no crazy interpretation of what this means. They believe it the day it was written from the founding fathers, who are toting crazy farmers, like they believe what in their end, what they meant that way, that is what it is. I love the Constitution, right? I'm not siding with each one, but you're telling me, okay, and most wholesalers agree to this. If you talk to 6 fundamentalists of the Constitution, is the assignment of contract should be banned or double closing? Actually, no, because if you ban assignments, you can still double close. So should you be banned from buying a property and selling it without a license? They go to the contract clause in the Constitution. Citizens have the right to form contract. They look at, okay, well, let's look at what the founding fathers did. That's what they're going to do. Okay, Thomas Jefferson, he literally built Monticello. He built property, and he sold property. Now, he also did some very heinous things that are bad, and most founding fathers did, frankly. And we don't believe in some of that, all that stuff that is bad, right? But you look at what they've done, and exclusively all of them, because they had the privilege to back in the day, they bought and sold real estate. Were they realtors?
No, they did it freely.
No, they freely, because they were men of the Constitution and they were crazy, right? George Washington, he built Mount Vernon. He built property, and I believe he sold property. And most of the founding fathers bought and sold property. Land, they bought and sold land and all these things, right? Like George Washington, when he bought Mount Vernon, he bought the land. He got the deed. He ain't no realtor, okay? No. And so what do you think 6 conservative Supreme Court justices are going to do when they see that? No, right? And so I'm just being honest, like that's what's going to happen. And so, and I will tell you, the majority of wholesaling real estate influencers believe that. I personally have not found one wholesaling real estate YouTuber that has at least 100 subscribers that told me it will get banned. The Supreme Court say no to that. And so, like, find me a guy, let's bring it to the Supreme Court, and let's get it done. When we have 6 conservative justices, I know what's going to happen. Okay. It's not that shocking, right? They pass laws all the time that are super unconstitutional, and they just get overturned.
Wouldn't it be so much better if the influencers, gurus, whatever you want to call them, just
not every influencer is a guru.
Not everyone, no. But like, if you just like, instead of doing these videos, I'm pleading to this point. Why don't you stand up for wholesaling and just tell it what it is, what it represents? Look at your current laws on the books, your Constitution, your rights, and speak out and say, listen, this isn't right. This is why. Here's the documents to show you. Here's what our forefathers that wrote the Constitution wanted us to do. And the whole reason why we're in this country is because we got overtaxed and the government took over. And like, I'm not getting in the political part of it, but like, instead of doing these videos and fear mongering, why don't we stand up and support people? The only way to do this is find me someone who's been attacked for it, and let's talk about it.
I'm begging you guys, do it.
But you'll never find a video. All I hear about is fear. And you can speculate why people record these types of videos. I have my opinion, but I'm not going to publicly put it out there. It's ridiculous. And you guys, if we tell you as entrepreneurs, stop looking at all the negative news, all the negative hype, why are we doing it in wholesaling? And I kind of want to end it on that. It's just like, guys, stop. I was pitched a lot of this stuff in 2003. Here I am 20 plus years later. My son's in the business. If I thought it was such a horrible business going to be outlawed, I would have steered him way clear of it. But honestly, step into the fire, enjoy it, because I'm just telling you, there is no particular case study, case law, or anyone that's been actively attacked in any of these markets that are being taken down for it. And you know there's an underlying reason why. We've already discussed it. So when you watch these videos, educate yourself. We need to lift this industry up. I agree, there's always bad apples in every industry. I cannot police the entire wholesaling community. It is physically impossible. I don't care what you guys do. You just have to have a certain types of ethics and characters, which is what we strongly believe in wholesaling. And that's it. If you're not a compassionate, helping person, this is not a good business for you. If you can't handle rejection and working hard, we always tell you it's not a good business for you. And if more people just tell the truth about wholesaling, it would bring so much more clarity to the business. This is not a sales business. We don't sell here, guys. We feel, oh, I got a sales process, a sales system. I laugh so hard because we spend so much effort marketing, finding the right people. You just got to guide them and just help them stay on the yellow brick road. And listen, if you help them out and give them solutions and help solve problems, which you're going to have to, that's how you make a lot of money in wholesaling. Remember, if it doesn't work for the seller and it doesn't work for you, then it's not a wholesaling deal. If it works for the wholesaler, it works for the seller and your cash buyer, that's the transactions we're looking for, period.
Exactly. And so, guys, remember, fear sells courses. Data doesn't lie, though. Wholesalers doing better than ever. These bans, people are still wholesaling these banned places, and the law passed like a year ago. Like, guys, the data doesn't lie. I look at the data. I don't look at my feelings. And Guys, there's underlying reasons why people tell you everything's banned, bad, 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 bad. Half the people online are telling you wholesaling's banned in the States because they don't need wholesaling in that area. Just being honest, okay? And so Fear sells courses. That's kind of the point. That's why it's being told the new method. I see people say, oh, I invented this new method in wholesaling. It's like, we did a video on that method in 2019.
Yeah,
There's
no new method, guys. There's no new methods in wholesaling. People call it like loopholes. If you want to start bringing lawyers and legal documents in that's not wholesaling. Like, I'm sorry, manipulating a contract or a power of attorney or like recording a legal lien. We don't do that in wholesaling. There are techniques. Remember, wholesaling is the art of finding the discounted property. What you choose to do after that property, that's your beautiful options of wholesaling. But in the beginning, we teach you how to focus on wholesaling so you have options. And if you want to do more advanced stuff, the last thing me and Zach are going to do is teach you a non-wholesaling technique that's going to get you in trouble.
So just be careful with that. So the next part we're going to talk about is the mainstream acceptance of wholesaling real estate. There are more outlets. I mean, heck, I even watched a video from a big, this guy has like millions of subscribers. He basically exposes scams. And he talked about, someone that he didn't believe in. And he talked about wholesaling, how it's just a legitimate industry. And it's just like, I'm seeing more of these big time business YouTubers talking about wholesaling real estate. Heck, we had this big sales guy. I'm not mentioning names, but like he brought on a wholesaler. He talked about sales with wholesale. Like, I'm seeing more of these YouTubers with millions and millions of people just talking about wholesale. Like, it's becoming more. And we even had it was kind of funny. Do I want to name drop this guy? I don't know. Should I? The biggest entrepreneur YouTuber, Alex Ramosi, right? He was talking about wholesaling real estate like a couple months ago. Like, it's becoming more mainstream, this business. Like, you would never.
There's also another one, our famous guy in Miami for the longest time.
Oh yeah, he talked about it too.
But like, so if you go back to 2011,
he used to talk about that back in the day.
Yeah, but he's just like, this thing's a little gray. I don't like it. Now he's like, yeah, I get it. It works.
But now
he says it's not my cup of tea.
He says I can make 60 grand. Oh, I make 40 billion. You know what? We ain't talking about him, but everyone knows the famous guy in Miami. But he talks about wholesaling.
But it's switched over. But like, his original opinion was, it's sketchy. I wouldn't do it. And that was 2011. He's completely changed his tune since then. But
so the acceptance of wholesaling real estate is becoming more and more mainstream, and this is a good and bad thing. There's more wholesalers, which means there's also good opportunities. And so the good part is wholesaling is getting more popular and more buyers are. So there's always a certain aspect of cash buyers that won't accept wholesaling. They never would.
Nah.
It's becoming more mainstream now, and it's becoming more accepted. And so, heck, even subject twos are becoming way more accepted now because of taking over. I'm seeing CNBC articles about this, how people are just taking over people's mortgages because they're at 3% loans.
Yep.
And people with 3% loans are getting like crazy premiums. And even creative financing is becoming way more mainstream. And so just understanding that this industry is just becoming more mature, which is a good thing, obviously. And yes, there's more government players. Like, let's use Oregon, for example. Oregon made some new laws about wholesaling. And they basically said if you're a wholesale marketer, which I'll show you, there's so many ways to get around that. You go to freewholesaling.com. But like, Oregon actually is not trying to ban wholesaling. They're trying to legitimize wholesaling real estate, right? They don't want no group. They don't want no licensure for it, right? They actually just want to make it its own little thing where you got to pay $200 and you become a wholesaler. But here's the thing. They want to make it legit business. Oregon does. And they passed the law. I got to look at they passed, but it's going to pass. And so they're trying to legitimize this business. And so this business is becoming more mainstream. It's becoming more popular. And unfortunately, the TikTokers are coming. And we got to understand this. It's crazy, but it's true. And so this is going to be coming about, which we've talked about before. Talk about the event a lot more. But the JV opportunity of a lifetime is coming. Okay? If you can be a guy that's making $100,000 a year, you get to that point, and you can show you're actually doing deals, you can kind of put these little kids under your wing and have them find deals for you, and you split it and make a lot. That's what we do. We love doing it, but I'm telling you, you can get to that point. And so we're talking about the JV opportunity of a lifetime. It's going to be pretty exciting, but there's a lot of people that are brand new.
Yeah, you want to cut your teeth first, and you got to develop a reputation as someone who follows through and does it. And a lot of people want to walk through fire with me and Zach because they know that's what I've done. Obviously, he's proven it. And those are the ones that you really want to JV with it. So you've got to start now, get your teeth cut, understand the process, do plenty of deals, and then just build a good reputation out in JVing. Like with all these, a lot of TikTokers, guys, they're excited about wholesaling, but they don't overly do the work. And if they just listen, the value in a JV, if you can even find a deal, I'll bring it home, still give you a cut of it or a marketing fee, and it's great. That to me is a deal of a lifetime because, guys, you know how expensive and how much time it takes to find these leads. So remember, anyone that can go out there and find people, bartenders, used car salesmen, all of these people connect with people. They got the art of gab, but they don't have the art of wholesaling. You have it. This is your opportunity to JV with them.
And so it's coming. And so what I want to let you know is these 18, 19-year-old kids, you get 100 of them that come to you say, I want to work with you, Zach, or I want to work with you, John. Five. Those amount of people are actually going to send you deals every single week. So yes, I make fun of my generation a lot, and there's a lot of them. Okay, they're very bad. That's all I can say. The largest percentage of lazy people is going to be my generation by far of any other generation. But the 5% are the hardest workers that it'll beat any other generation. I'm just being honest. There's the least amount of hard workers are in my generation, but the ones that are hard workers are men and women of real substance. I'll be honest with you. Okay, they're all like me. Like that, they'll do anything. They'll run through any wall, and that's anyone really. Like you're a certain subsect of anyone. There's a certain percent that are just killers out here to do anything to become successful, and they will. And so don't think that every single person that's 20 years old is a loser that won't work hard. 95% of them won't. But there are 5% that are willing to do anything to get to that point. And your job is to find the 5% that are willing to actually work with you and will do it whatever they want. But here's the problem. They're all disguised. All 100 of them are disguised as the 5%.
They all sound great.
But here's the thing.
They all sound great.
When the boxing ring, when it goes ding, ding, and it's time to put up or show up, that's when they get exposed.
Yeah.
Right. And so, did you send me the 100 driving for dollars leads, or did you not? Did you put the sticky notes out, or did you? There's no playing around. There's no crying about. There's no excuse. You did it or you didn't. And so the opportunity of a lifetime's here. It's easy or never to find the winners and the losers in this business. It's easy. Are you doing the work or you're not? That's it. And so the opportunity of a lifetime's coming. We're really excited for it, guys. Start JVing. It's a big opportunity. And pretty excited and gotta go. But guys, so far, I want you to understand this. We have decided this is the best year ever for wholesaling real estate. And y'all have made more money than ever. Maybe not you, but as an industry, the people subscribing and following us, they have made more money than ever. We've made more money than ever. And so us wholesalers in Flip with Rick, whatever, any of our channels that we have, right? Because we're all together on this. Us as a community, wholesaling us, we've decided this is the best year ever, and we're doing better than ever. Now, let's kind of look at the gurus that wholesaling's collapsing and everything's the worst and wham. Do you know any rich people that are just wham, the world's ending? It's those are mostly broke people. Not every single person's like that, but us as a group, we're getting more people becoming successful than ever. I'm getting more testimonials than ever from anyone.
Yeah.
Because we're positive, and when you think positive, you make more money. And this industry is actually going up. We have the facts. Guys, I showed you the Google search ratings of wholesaling, virtual wholesaling. It's jacking up. The amount of wholesaling deals being done are jacking up. But the problem is you're listening to some person trying to sell you some course. And here's the problem. Here's the issue. We've decided to share wholesaling real estate knowledge for free. We should charge $7,000 for it. We give it out for free. The issue with that is a lot of people are getting hurt. A lot of wholesaling gurus are getting hurt. And they're not being able to sell their $10,000 courses because we give it out for free. They say, well, they won't meet with you in person. We do one-on-ones for free. Well, they won't go to an event, and we have a lot of people come to our event that JV'd, and so they're actually coming to the
2
event for
events a
free.
year, yeah.
They're coming to our events for free,
Yeah.
right? For free, and we're spending 5 figures for an event. This event's not gonna be 6 figures, but this will be a 5-figure event easily. Don't even start it on. But here's the thing. So we give events for free now. It's like, what are you going to do? And so here's the problem. We've decided this is the best, and everyone's making the money, but these gurus. We got to talk about this. They're struggling to sell their events. They're struggling hard to sell their courses, and they're struggling to sell their mentorships. And we're seeing more wholesaling gurus in the past 365 days leave this business and leave the coaching industry or whatever than we've ever seen before.
I've watched 2 flee the country. Guys, flee the country.
I wasn't even going to say that.
So flee the country. I don't even have to give you the names. You can figure it out.
Well, there's
and
other
these
wholesalers.
These were prominent people on stages.
Well, can I say something for the
all,
lawyer?
with all the big coaches? I'm like, where's the support for these people?
I don't want to interject,
now?
but there are multiple wholesalers in those 2 that have fled the country that are still wholesaling virtually that are legit. I don't. My lawyer makes me say that. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I've had a change of heart. No, you didn't have a change of heart. You got so many lawsuits that why go through a company where you don't have to be extradited? Like that alone kind of tells you what's going on. But guys, the bottom line is, if people are struggling to sell something, like it's not my problem. I'm not taking accountability. I've been doing this 21 years. I'm here. I've watched from 2003 because I've gone through all this courseworks. Heck, I've even spoke on stages. I don't sell stuff I don't believe in. I believe wholesaling is a basic fundamental skill that doesn't require a $10,000 course. I believe people complicate it. They get everything so confusing and throwing in AI, and then we reinvent the names and stuff. Guys, wholesaling is simple. This is the big secret nobody wants to tell you. It is super simple. If you're going to sell these packages like they did back in the early 2000s, the dinosaurs aren't around anymore. And your breed's not going to be around any longer. Like the world has changed. How we're communicating right now was never around when I get started. So listen, it works in other industries. Whoever provides the most value and helps the most people out gets rewarded. I was like, oh my God, it can't be good if you give it away for free. Guess what? We provide so much value. And I kind of hate that word to a point that we earn it back
Value
tenfold. So we take the risk. Who else puts their course out there? Any of you gurus can open it up.
Guess what? Wednesday.
Most of you guys copy it.
We're bringing our event out for free for anyone. Wednesday, Thursday.
I don't hold it back. I just throw it out there. Why? Because more people do business with us. People are like, man, they're really telling the truth. They're showing you how to do it. He's cut his teeth for 21 years. Zach's coming up on 8 years. Like they're the real deal. And the thing is, we actually do wholesaling now. I'm not one of these like, I flip occasional properties, but it's definitely not my passion. I don't like doing it because I don't find it very exciting. And the bottom line is things have to change. When we started this, everyone says, you're absolutely crazy. We had multiple influencers says you're never going to make it. And like, here we are, what, 4 years later? Like,
so one, let's talk about, I'll talk about one example. Cause I can get wild, right? This ain't a regular talk. This isn't. So I had one person, and this is one of the people I will mention that have left the industry. Okay. They shut down.
it's a long list.
Yeah. They shut down all events. They shut down all content. They shut everything down because they couldn't make any money coaching anymore because they never wholesaled. And this person told me, quote, my first year in YouTube. And you know who I'm talking about.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
They told me that I will never survive on social media if I give everything out for free, and I need to start joining the club. So what's the club? They said you need to start going to events. You have to start being friends with these people, even if you don't like them. And you just need to assimilate with them and do what they tell you. You need to bring them on your channel, and they need to sell, and then they'll allow you to sell on their channel.
Yeah.
And you have to, this is how the game works. I said, no. And they say, you're never going to survive. I said, we'll see. And that person has left the industry, and I'm still here. Womp womp. So so I can name about, in the past year, 6. There's 6 prominent ones you probably know the names of that have just left. I ain't going to say a word. But they left wholesaling real estate. They left real estate in general. And they go to the next thing and the next. That was 2 years ago, this other person I'm thinking of.
But when you
we
only
won't talk about the ones that are
when
getting
you only
sued.
do coaching and you don't really do wholesaling, if you can't sell a coaching product, you're gonna get in trouble. And that's where most of these people get killed. I don't understand it. Like, we make tons of money in wholesaling. So like everything I else to do to teach, I do to do deals with people.
Okay, one thing I'll tell you, moving to Puerto Rico is not fleeing the country. That is not who we're talking about at all. That's not who we're talking about at all.
That's not.
That I'm talking about people that are actively getting sued and have litigation, and they have DAs down their necks right now
Because they did really bad stuff.
They did bad stuff. But we ain't going to talk about that. Those are not. That's not who we're talking about.
You're
obviously.
up.
Okay. So just FYI, and if anyone's saying that we're talking about Jerry Norton, we are not. He's a stand-up guy, and he's a legit wholesaler, and he's pretty much as legit as they come. So I want to put that out there. He is not a bad guy at all, and he is a legit wholesaler. I will let everyone know. I get people telling me I have beef with this guy. I do not.
No.
We are fine. We are good. He's a good guy. We approve. Go subscribe to his channel. Was it Flipping Mastery TV? Go check it out. Good guy.
Now, not the one we're talking
he's
about.
not we're talking.
You guys could research.
When
I say, I mean, they like on the other side of the world.
Well, let's use an example.
They're still on YouTube.
Let's use him. Let's use Jerry as an example here. Did Jerry ever promote an Amazon FBA for $70,000?
No.
Take your money.
No.
Take 70 grand. Then the Amazon store gets shut down and say,
"Oh, I know what
you're talking about." Then just say, "That's not my problem. I don't offer refunds." Yeah. You never did that. So they're different. No, okay. One guy's a legit wholesaler, and one guy scammed people out of 70.
I'm just telling you, these people were on stages.
Come on,
with thousands of people in there, with a whole support cast, the whole 9 yards, millions of dollars of promises that were never fulfilled, and they conveniently disappeared. I don't know if they gave up their citizenship, and now they're still active on YouTube. It's like I prefer another part of the world. It's ridiculous, guys.
But one thing I want to tell you is Amazon FBA was actually against Amazon's terms of you can't drop ship on Amazon.
No.
So you paid 70 grand. The store got shut down. You lost all your money, and these people lost. I know other wholesalers,
but there was a lot of people that did that.
But
a lot of people went from wholesaling to FBA thinking like that was the cure. And here's the problem, guys. These are sprinters. They're looking for the next thing to sell a course. One of the pieces when we're selling a $30,000 membership to teach you how to fully wholesaling. Now that one's done. That one's over. And it just happens over and over again. I don't know why it happens so much in wholesaling.
Why don't we? And here's another one. I've seen people leave wholesaling because they promoted, I can't say the word, but TNFs. TNFs. You know what we're talking about, right? They get the little picture of the monkey and they sell it, and they promise the world, and then you spent 40 grand on the monkey picture, and the monkey picture's worth $0, and then the person's like, I ain't gonna fulfill that. We see a lot of these scams in wholesaling.
If you do that, you probably don't belong at wholesaling to begin with, because.
So we're not talking shop, but what I'm telling you is a lot of these gurus, okay, and a lot of you guys are talking smack about people in the comments that are actually legit. So if you say something and we think you're slandering that person, we'll say don't do that because that person's legit. There are people that are teaching on YouTube that we don't talk about them. Okay, they're legit people. Okay, I know it's hard for you to say the in between, but
they don't even teach about real estate anymore to a point.
Not the legit people. The legit people do teach about real estate.
No. I'm just talking about the ones that
are legit are good. The ones that left, they're not on anymore.
They're not on.
Okay, but you have to know the pattern. Okay, we have people talking about Forex and coins. It's not talking. Okay, but most wholesaling gurus are backed in the corner right now, and you're starting to see their teeth. You put a dog in the corner or a cat, they're going to start to put his teeth out. We're getting attacked. We've had 3 attacks past couple of weeks about our credibility. It's so funny, and it's like, how many deals have you done, buddy? And then they delete the comment. Oops.
Yeah.
Oops.
A lot of
and so it's the only people that talk smack about us anymore are the ones that sell software companies. They come to me and they say, Zach, promote my software. I say, no, your software sucks. And then they talk crap about me. And I'll tell anyone, you can tell me do affiliate for you. If I don't actively do deals on your platform, I ain't going to do it, right? And so I had one guy try to sell me some crazy thing once, and it was so crazy.
I get so upset.
And then the business went belly up in like a month or two. It was crazy. And so it's but guys, these gurus are getting rough. They're not selling their courses. Their events are not selling like they say, and they just all shut down. And so you understand, why do we do events? Why no one in wholesaling is really doing events anymore? I can name 3 people that do wholesaling events
There's
now.
some of them.
There's 3 or 4 that do events now. That's it.
Yeah.
It used to be everyone, because they lose money on the event and they can't sell like their programs on there anymore. And so we have an event we're having, but like it's more of a meetup. Like everyone that came, we all kind of chipped in to just kind of have a mastermind of sorts. And so let's talk about what we're talking about today. Okay. And so I want everyone to understand this, okay? That this is the end. So we got to pitch. Okay. We got to pitch. So okay. For the low price of $0, this is 75% off, by the way. Only today. If you go to freewholesaling.com, you'll gain top-tier mentorship from great mentors that know their place. They are leaders of the industry. They wear suit jackets, and they are professionals. For $0 today, 75% off, by the way, okay, you can go to freewholesaling.com. Is that good?
No, just guys, listen.
I think we sold it.
You know, the difference in like our events is we just sit there for really 2 full days and just give everything. And we train, we role play. We'll call live sellers. We'll do whatever we have to do to get the point across. And it's a little bit scary, to be honest with you, but it's what people need to be truly to become successful in wholesaling. You got to get past the hype. I love a good live event. Don't get me wrong. And the reason I do them is I like the interaction with it.
You'll see tomorrow. We're going to bring somebody that came to the first live event, and we kind of put their foot to the fire and say, "Hey, dude, this is how you're going to triple your business." And they're like, no. Like, do it.
They all tell the same
We had to
story.
sit them down,
yeah,
and say, "Do it." And guess what happened? Ready? They tripled their business. They were making hundreds of thousands, and they made a lot more.
I've had them even say, "Well, I thought on the internet you're supposed to do." I go, "Listen,
and so that
here's
person,
how the business works."
That person is going to be on our live stream tomorrow from the event place, and we're pretty excited about that. So FYI, that's pretty exciting. We got some other cool stories too.
It's 2 full days.
But why we're doing this event is we're getting a lot of people come to the events, and I sit them down one-on-one because I'm not able to do that.
Yeah.
I say, "You need to do this," and they do it. And so, guys, we're not doing live events like you buy a ticket, you come here. It's like you got to be part of Flip Alert Plus or send me a JV deal, and we just kind of a meetup. It's not a big flashy. We don't have dancers. We don't have confetti cannons. We don't. It's you sit down with me one-on-one, man to man, man to woman, whatever, right? And we help you become a better wholesaler. You network with successful people. That is what we're doing. And what we're doing is we're recording it. We're giving it out to the people. Now, I want to let everybody know what we did 6 months ago was our first live event. It was powerful and helped a lot of people grow. And so what we're doing is we're not releasing the event we're doing Wednesday, Thursday, because we're not live streaming it. Obviously, we need to edit it, make it look really nice, highest quality possible. So what we're going to do is release the entire Escape the Matrix event, which is basically Escape the Matrix. Escape your job, make your first 100K in wholesaling. It was a 2-day event. It was 16 hours. It's actually 24 hours. You include meetups.
We're going to release that?
So you already know that. We're releasing Wednesday and Thursday.
How come other people don't release their
Because
live
at the
events?
end of the live event, there's a pitch. There's the pitch. It's crazy. And then they say information from the course. But all of our information goes out for free. And so we're going to do Wednesday, Thursday. It's going to be a premiere. It's not going to only be a live stream. It's going to be a premiere. But the point of it is it kind of feels like a live stream, but you can be in the comments and network. That's kind of the point of it. It's not live. All right. But it's going to be a premiere.
We're not going to put the word live and
no, we're not
going
to pretend, okay? So I just want you guys to know. But I want you guys to hop on there, join it, act like you're actually going to the event, and actually write notes down and make changes, because that was the event that changed so many people's lives. And this event's going to change more people's lives that we're doing, and we're going to record that. We're going to release the video on that. And by the time we have our massive Florida one, like FYI, like this year, like we're having this event, but this is the wholesaling accelerator event. So this is a big scaling acceleration event, which is going to be really cool. We're going to release that. But the big kahuna, like the Escape the Matrix, the second one we're doing, it's going to be insane. And it's going to be crazy. That's all I can say. So we're excited about that one. So mark your calendars, okay? October 2024. It's going to be crazy. And we'll release the location we're actually going to release the location at the end of this event, and then we'll let the people know. But what we're saying today is Wednesday. Watch out tomorrow. We're going to do a live stream. We're going to talk to some really cool people that are coming to the event that we just wanted to kind of hop on and speak to you guys that went to the last event, did crazy. We're just going to kind of break down their business. Kind of everyone's been requesting podcasts again. So we're going to do a live podcast. It's going to be straight from Dallas.
Yeah.
And then from there, Wednesday, Thursday, we have the event. So we're going to release the actual previous event to you guys. It's going to be a game changer. It's only going to be on the Flip with Rick YouTube channel. So make sure you subscribe to Flip with Rick on YouTube.
What time is that tomorrow?
Tomorrow, the live stream, it's going to be at 5 o'clock Eastern. So 4 o'clock Central.
Okay.
So it's going to be pretty cool. And yeah, check it out and get it going for you. But we always release the live event for you because I have nothing to hide. All my information I give to the people because I truly believe the people deserve the information, and the information will keep you free and get you free in wholesaling. So we're excited about that. We're pumped up, ready to go. And, let's get it going, guys. So, guys, if you want to learn wholesaling real estate for free, all these people learn this business for free, and all they have to do is go to freewholesaling.com. So let me get the link here for you. It's called freewholesaling.com. Check it out. Go there. Learn how to wholesale real estate for free. And I love all the support you guys have. So we're going to do a live stream tomorrow. It's going to be 5 o'clock Eastern. It'd be pretty cool. We're gonna bring some people on. It's gonna be really cool. It's gonna be our first live audience live stream ever.
It could be wild.
So it's gonna be pretty cool. So it's gonna be pumped up. So guys, make sure you go there, and we love your love and support, and we appreciate it. This was a very important broadcast we have to give out to the people because just this business is changing, and it's for the positive. But you have to make the decision that you're gonna put the work in, and it'll be positive. So guys, I appreciate it. This is Zach Ginn signing out.
This is Rick Ginn signing out. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody on Wednesday in Dallas. I can't wait to meet you guys in person. So come out, come early, and we'll spend a lot of time together. So I promise you, wholesaling is going to change your life.
And I'll give one quick teaser because it's going to be recorded. It's going to be sent to anyone watching that's going to be able to see this. Everyone's requesting for live cold calling with Rick and me, and it's going to be at the event. So we're pretty excited about it. And so that's all I can say. We're pumped up. We got some great surprises coming in there. So guys, subscribe. Love you guys, and see you soon.
See you guys.